His name was Carlo Ponzi, but you can call him Charles. Everyone did. He arrived in America on a steamship, the SS Vancouver, in November 1903. He had stars in his eyes and almost nothing in his pockets, just $2.50. Seriously, that's it. He claimed he gambled the rest away on the voyage. A sign of things to come? Oh, you have no idea. This man was not born to play by the rules. He was born to invent his own, and then convince everyone else they were the real rules. He saw the towering buildings of Boston and didn't feel small. He felt hungry. He wanted a piece of it, all of it. Ponzi came from Lugo, Italy, a small town. He had a university education, which was something, but he didn't have the patience for a normal job. A 9-to-5? Please, that was for suckers. Before he became the infamous Charles Ponzi of Boston, he had a few dress rehearsals for his life of crime. It wasn't a sudden turn to the dark side. It was more like a slow, meandering stroll. In Montreal, he got a job at a small bank, Banco Zarossi. It was run by a man who was, shall we say, financially creative. The bank promised huge returns on investments, paying 6% interest, double the going rate. It was a Ponzi scheme before Ponzi even had his name on it. He watched his boss, Luigi Zarossi, rake in the money. He learned how to juggle the books and pacify anxious investors with charm. It was like an internship in fraud. Stranded and broke, Ponzi needed cash. Fast. He found a check from one of the bank's old clients. He forged the signature. It was for a few $100s, a pathetic amount really, but he was sloppy. He got caught. The idea, when it came, was almost embarrassingly simple. It started with a letter from Spain. A business contact had sent him a letter, and inside was something called an International Reply Coupon, or IRC. This was a real thing. It was a coupon you could buy in one country and exchange for postage stamps in another. Most people would look at it and think, huh, neat. Then they'd throw it away. Charles Ponzi looked at it and saw a gold mine. Due to the chaos of World War I, currency exchange rates were all over the place. An IRC bought in Italy for 1 US cent could be exchanged in the United States for stamps worth 6 US cents. You see it, right? Buy low in Europe, sell high in America, a massive profit, over 400% profit. He started small, he borrowed money from friends, he set up a company. He called it the Securities Exchange Company. He promised his first investors an insane return, 50% profit in 45 days, or 100% in 90 days. Let's break this down, because the genius of the Ponzi scheme is its simplicity. It's a magic trick. You're so focused on the amazing promise that you don't look at what the magician is actually doing. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in it. As long as you pour water in faster than it leaks out, the bucket stays full. But the moment you stop pouring, it all drains away. Here's a simple chart. Imagine we have 3 rounds of investors. It's a pyramid, but a sideways one. A chain reaction of stupidity. The first investors are the bait. They become his unpaid marketing department. Their success stories create a frenzy, a fear of missing out. Everyone wants in, so new investors rush in with their life savings. By the summer of 1920, Charles Ponzi wasn't just a businessman. He was, honestly, a phenomenon, a folk hero. He was the little guy who had outsmarted the big Wall Street banks. He was giving incredible wealth back to the common people, or so they thought. His office moved from a small room to a massive suite in the Niles building on School Street. The lines of investors snaked down the block. He was making money faster than he could count it. At his peak, he was taking in an estimated $250,000 a day. That's over $3 million a day in today's money. He bought a mansion in Lexington, Massachusetts, a sprawling 20-room estate with a swimming pool. He bought a custom-built locomobile, one of the most expensive cars in America. He walked around Boston in fancy suits, with a diamond stick pin, handing out money to the poor. The press loved him. They called him the Wizard of Finance. The trust people had in him was absolute. It was almost religious. When one man came to invest, Ponzi's clerks told him they were closed for the day. The man was so desperate to give Ponzi his money that he threw it through the transom window over the door. People mortgaged their homes, they cashed in their retirement funds. Not everyone was buying the story. The established financial world, the Wall Street types, they looked at Ponzi's promised returns and just knew something was wrong. It was impossible. No legitimate investment could guarantee a 50% return in 45 days. It really defied the laws of economic gravity. Financial journalists started asking questions. The first was Clarence Barron, the publisher of the Wall Street Journal. He published an article that basically said Ponzi was a fraud. Ponzi, ever the showman, fought back. He sued Barron for libel, demanding $5 million in damages. It was a brilliant PR move. When a few nervous investors started a run on his company, wanting their money back, Ponzi met them at the door. He calmly paid out everyone who asked for their cash. He even served them coffee and donuts while they waited. The move worked. The run stopped. Many people who had just withdrawn their money immediately reinvested it. But behind the scenes, the pressure was immense. He was paying out old investors with new money at a furious pace. The machine was starting to overheat. He was trapped in his own creation. The scheme was a ticking time bomb. Every dollar he took in just made the eventual explosion bigger. While Clarence Barron had fired the first shot, it was a local newspaper, the Boston Post, that delivered the kill shot. The paper's publisher, Richard Grosier, was skeptical. He assigned his best reporters to dig deep into Ponzi's past and his business. They confirmed what Barron had suspected. The logistics were impossible. They uncovered his criminal record, the check forgery in Canada, the prison time, the human smuggling operation. This wasn't the brilliant, self-made financial wizard he claimed to be. This was a career con man, a fraud with a long history of scams. On July 24, 1920, the Boston Post began publishing a series of articles exposing Ponzi for what he was. The headlines were sensational. They laid out the evidence piece by piece for the entire city to see. It was a journalistic bombshell, and it started a panic. Suddenly, the narrative changed. Ponzi was no longer the hero. He was the villain. The federal authorities, who had been circling cautiously, now had the public support they needed to act. Postal inspectors and federal prosecutors launched a full-scale investigation. They started auditing his books. And what they found was a mess. There were no records of any IRC trades. On August 12, 1920, the federal authorities finally moved in. Charles Ponzi was arrested. The charges were mail fraud, using the postal service to run a fraudulent scheme. When they audited his company, the scale of the disaster became clear. He had taken in roughly $15 million, about $225 million in today's money. When they seized his assets, they found he had only about $4 million left. He owed his investors more than $7 million. His mansion was sold, his expensive car was repossessed, his Hanover Trust Bank collapsed, wiping out the savings of thousands of innocent depositors. The ripple effects were devastating. People lost everything. Ponzi's trial was a sensation. He acted as his own lawyer at one point, using his charm to try and sway the jury. But the evidence was overwhelming. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 5 years in federal prison. After serving his federal time, he got another 7 to 9 years on state charges. After his release in 1934, he was immediately deported back to Italy. His American dream was over. He was broke and disgraced. He tried to run other schemes in Europe, but the magic was gone. His name was now synonymous with fraud. He eventually ended up in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, where he lived his final years in poverty and obscurity. Charles Ponzi died in a charity hospital in Rio in 1949 with about $75 to his name. A fitting, pathetic end. Charles Ponzi did not invent the get-rich-quick scheme, but what he did was perfect it. He branded it. He put his name on it forever. He created a template for financial fraud that has been copied and repeated countless times all over the world. Every time you hear about a charismatic leader promising impossible returns from a secret, complicated investment strategy, that's the ghost of Charles Ponzi. His story is more than just a historical curiosity. It's a warning, a timeless lesson about greed, gullibility, and the danger of believing in things that are too good to be true. Ponzi preyed on people's hopes. He understood that people want to believe in magic. They want to believe there's an easy way out, a shortcut to wealth and happiness. He sold them a fantasy, and they bought it willingly. From small-time local scams to multi-billion-dollar international operations like Bernie Madoff's, the core mechanics are exactly the same as what Ponzi did with his little paper coupons in 1920. The technology changes, the sales pitch gets more sophisticated, but the underlying lie remains the same. His story serves as a permanent red flag. It teaches us to be skeptical, to ask questions, and to understand that if something sounds too good to be true, it absolutely, positively, 100% is. Charles Ponzi fooled the world for a summer, but the lesson he taught us is one that should last forever. Sometimes it is too good to be true. It's really that simple.